Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Secretary General, distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank His Excellency Mr. Brahim Bukhari and His Excellency Mr. Salah Godjil for the invitation to the 17th Conference of the Parliamentary Union of the OIC Member States and for their warm hospitality. I would also like to thank His Excellency Professor Dr. Mustafa Shentop for his successful presidency of the 16th Conference. Honorable colleagues, despite its rich history and cultural legacy, huge natural and human resources, today the Islamic world is facing serious challenges which still await solution. Poverty, social and economic inequalities, armed conflicts, humanitarian crises, terrorism and extremism severely affect and constrain efforts for modernization and development. At the same time, the burning of the Holy Quran in Denmark and in front of the Embassy of the Republic of Turkey in Sweden, ugly scenes in the Netherlands show that Islamophobia, xenophobia, racism have still not ceased, but rather continue to create divides and hatred, disguised under the name of democracy, human rights, and freedom of speech. In order to overcome these challenges and to realize its full potential, Islamic world needs unity and solidarity in line with eternal Islamic values of peace, tolerance, harmony, and justice. Organization of Islamic cooperation has become an important and effective umbrella for strengthening our solidarity and is a crucial framework for development of our cooperation, joint actions, and firm stance on common causes. I believe in today's circumstances, where parliamentary diplomacy has become an important tool of international politics, this parliamentary union has every opportunity to further evolve as an effective platform for solidarity, dialogue, and cooperation. Distinguished colleagues, building and developing bilateral and multilateral cooperation with Islamic countries have always been among the key priorities of Azerbaijan's foreign policy. It is proved by the organization of various ministerial meetings of OIC member states and conferences on Palestine, initiatives on the establishment of new organizations such as OIC Youth Forum, OIC Labor Center, and the Journalists Association of OIC member states. Hosting 4 Solidarity Games in 2017, provision of financial and humanitarian assistance to Muslim countries during the COVID-19 pandemic are also Azerbaijan's efforts for strengthening solidarity among Islamic countries. Speaking openly against Islamophobia, Azerbaijan has organized conferences and exhibitions in many countries that promote Islamic culture and demonstrate the true essence of Islam as a religion of peace and mercy. The Baku process, which was launched in 2008 with participation of member countries of OIC and the Council of Europe, and then the World Forum on Intercultural Dialogue, has already been recognized by a resolution of the United Nations General Assembly as a key global platform for supporting intercultural dialogue. Active cooperation and mutual support of Islamic countries within the framework of international organizations make our voice heard. Islamic State supported Azerbaijan's election as a member of the United Nations Security Council for 2012-2013. During its membership of the UN Security Council, Azerbaijan put forward and implemented a number of proposals serving the interests of the Islamic world, such as organization of an international conference on the fight against terrorism and a high-level meeting on the expansion of cooperation between the UN and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Dear participants, I am delighted to inform you that within the framework of the 17th Conference, the Parliamentary Network of the Non-Aligned Movement, which was established by the initiative of the President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, His Excellency Mr. Ilham Aliyev, and the Parliamentary Union of OIC member states, have decided to establish mutually beneficial cooperation by signing memorandum on cooperation and granting the status of observer to each other. I believe this cooperation will serve our common goals. Ladies and gentlemen, the world we are witnessing now have taught us that certain behaviors, pursued policies never change. This has become a weak point of today's international system. Comparing past and present experiences, it becomes evident that actually the essence of these policies remains the same, only methods of realization change based on demands of a given period of time. I think we are all grateful to Algeria, prominent member of Islamic world, independent and developing country, for hosting today's conference. But we know that these achievements were gained at the cost of the lives of more than 1.5 million martyrs after the long years of extreme violence, atrocities, and war crimes committed by France against the people of Algeria. Ladies and gentlemen, almost 30 years after the independence of Algeria in the early 19th, 20% of the internationally recognized territories of my country, Azerbaijan, were occupied by our neighbor Armenia and left under occupation for 30 years. During the years of occupation, Armenia razed to the ground all our cities and villages, vandalized all historical, cultural, and religious sites of Azerbaijan. In total disrespect and hatred to all Muslims, Armenia destroyed and desecrated our mosques and used them as a stable for pigs and cows. Armenia carried out ethnic cleansing in these territories, which resulted in more than 1 million Azerbaijanis become internally displaced persons from the occupied territories and refugees from Armenia. 4 resolutions adopted by the United Nations Security Council in 1993, resolutions and decisions of other relevant international organizations, including the OIC, demanded immediate, complete, and unconditional withdrawal of the armed forces of Armenia from Azerbaijan's occupied territories. The OIC Minsk Group was a mediator in negotiations between Armenia and Azerbaijan. However, instead of facilitating a resolution of the conflict, it seemed that this group, especially France, was trying to freeze the issue so that the situation of neither war nor peace would remain forever. In 2020, using the right of self-defense, which is provided by the Article 51 of the UN Charter, and at the cost of the lives of almost 3,000 martyrs, Azerbaijan implemented UN Security Council resolutions, norms and principles of international law itself, and restored its territorial integrity and historical justice. Now Azerbaijan has started the large-scale restoration and reconstruction works in the liberated territories. All our former internally displaced persons will return to their homes, and this process has already started. I believe the Azerbaijani people that have been deported from their native lands in present-day Armenia, where they lived for centuries, will realize the right to return to their homes. The community of Western Azerbaijan, consisting of these people, has already appealed to international community and has prepared the concept of return for practical realization of this process. Ladies and gentlemen, after the end of the Second Karabakh War, Azerbaijan has initiated a peace agenda and normalization of relations between Armenia and Azerbaijan. However, Armenia still does not fulfill its undertaken obligations and shows destructive position in the process, misleading international community with false information. Unsurprisingly, these manipulations are supported and even instigated by the same France. Distinguished colleagues, all the aforementioned leads us to another important point: double standards and selective approach to international organizations, particularly in the UN Security Council. The necessity of reforms in this platform has been voiced by many countries. Recently, His Excellency Mr. Ilham Aliyev, the President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, in his interview to local media, touched on this issue again. Emphasizing the importance of revision of the format of the Security Council, President Aliyev suggested reservation of one permanent place for Muslim country, member of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, and one place for the non-aligned movement. We believe this will be a far fairer and balanced representation in view of the modern international politics. Honorable colleagues, at the end of my speech, I would like to inform you on the issues that has caused a serious international reaction. 3 days ago, on 27th January, a terrorist attack was perpetrated against the embassy of the Republic of Azerbaijan in the Islamic Republic of Iran. One employee of the embassy was killed and other two were wounded while preventing the attack. We strongly condemn this treacherous terrorist attack against our embassy. The Islamic Republic of Iran bears all responsibility for this attack. At the country where the embassy is located, the Iranian side had to fulfill its obligations under the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations to ensure the security of the embassy and safety of its employees. We strongly demand Iran to identify and punish the perpetrators of this terrorist attack, as well as the instigators of this bloody act as soon as possible in the most objective manner. Honorable colleagues, finally, I would like to thank the Parliament of the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria for excellent organization of the 17th conference and wish peace, prosperity and development to all our countries. Thank you for your attention.